All right, now we got that open. Tina's on the other side of the wall. We'll call her Wilson during this experiment from Home Improvement. Do we need to pass it up through the, is there any girts there? Good morning. So we're adding some girts and we're working in the garage today. And you might say, why the heck are you working in the garage when you got a house to build? Well, you may have noticed in our last video that there's no sub panel in the laundry room anymore. So talking with the electrical inspector, when he came out, he passed us the way it was, but he said, technically, there needs to be 3 feet. And he said, I'm not super happy with it, but I'll let it go. So we decided to take it out to appease him. And then everything that was in there, we ran to the main panel. But we're gonna put the sub panel here in the garage, which is gonna feed all the garage stuff. And then the main reason we're doing it right now is septic is coming up. So our septic is gonna be, our pipe, our main drain line came out about halfway between this. It's 13 foot off of that wall. And we have a different septic tank than what you might notice, like typical gravity fed. We have a pump system. So we need 2 outlets, one outside, one inside, the way we're doing it. One for the pump and one for an alarm. So we need to get power there. So instead of running everything over there and leaving the panel and maybe having issues in the future, we pulled the panel and we'll mount the panel here, which will feed everything. The reason we're not doing it in the corner over there and we're doing it on this wall, you might say, but that's kind of weird to put it in the middle of the wall, is we have plans to build a safe room in this corner that I was gonna do 12 foot by 12 foot. We might shrink it down to 10 foot. That post is 8 foot from the wall to the center. So we may do 10 foot by, this comes out quite a ways, like 10 foot by 13 foot or so. Reason why we're doing it so big is because it will house other things as well as be a safe room, if you catch my drift. So we'll put the panel there, and then by the time we get the wall, it'll kind of look like it's in the corner and it'll have 3 foot of space around it. So we got the panel out there, we got the girts, I gotta add some vertical supports, and we'll get this panel in. All right, so we got that panel in. The camera died when I was screwing it in, so you didn't see that. But next up, we have our wire. We had to order new wire, unfortunately, because the stuff we ran originally After we hooked it up and did all that jazz, we cut it, and then it was going to be too short. So we had to order new wire. This is 1113 service wire. It should be more than enough for that panel. The other wire was actually oversized that we got. They wrapped the heck out of it. And my knife is, good Lord. This is like a butter knife. There we go. Who would have thought it would have taken that long to open up some dang wire? Alright. Now we got that open. Tina's on the other side of the wall. We'll call her Wilson during this experiment from Home Improvement. Do we need to pass it up through the... Is there any girts there?
One.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
Probably be a little bit easier. Well, it won't be, but it will be. It'll be harder now, but it'll be easier when we get there.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
Alright. I'll be happy when we don't have to run any more wires. Although I'd rather run wires than I would plumbing. No. Who put that drywall hanger there? You know what? Do I want to run this like this? Yeah, whatever. It'd be fine. Okay. All right, feed it. Try to get it as far as I can. Take some slack off of being on the ground.
There we go.
lot easier if I get the whole thing up here. Okay.
Ready?
Yep. Okay.
You'll have to help me with the doorway because I don't want you to like, hit it.
Whoa.
You alright?
I am all right. Go. Well, shoot, that was easy.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right. You know what I just realized?
What?
I think we only ordered 80 feet of this, didn't we? Not 100 feet. Man, we cannot get rid of this rain. It's just rain after rain after rain after rain. Crazy, but hopefully next week it clears up a bit. But anyway, I think we have just enough wire. I guess, I thought I said we had needed more, but Tina said that I said 80 feet was enough, and she thought we needed more, so we'll believe her because I'm sure she's right. So 100 foot probably would have been a lot better, but we'll have just enough. So I got this in here, but I got to take it back out because we'll have to put our clamps on there, and then it's just got to go down to those two terminals. This ground block here where we had for the, when it was mounted inside, will have to get moved. Probably have to put the ground block over here up like this so I can be able to put the ground on there. But yeah, I have just enough on the other side. We'll run it to one of the lugs on the top, and we should have enough. So I'll go ahead and get the pieces, and we can mount or get that secured and fastened, and then we can start mounting some boxes. All right, I went ahead and connected it on the inside to the main panel, and I gave myself a little bit extra wire. So, ha, Tina, I was right. 80 feet, just enough. So we got one of these. Probably help if it was right side up. Service entrance, clamp, connector. So that's gonna go here on that wire to hold it in place. So pop this back out. Okay, we got that all in. It's a bit of a chore. I don't know why that one seemed a lot harder than the other wire, but probably because it's all loomed up like that. But I need to mount one outlet for now. We're gonna have a lot more outlets in here than that, but I need to mount one for our septic on the inside. So all of our garage outlets are gonna be at 42 inches to the bottom of the box, taller than the inside because of freezers and whatnot and workbenches and all that stuff. 42 inches is a good height. So I got this marked here. And I'm just gonna use this post for now. Okay, so here's our first outlet box. I'll have to fasten that there. And that's the inside one. All right, so I ended up, like I said, cutting this out, putting a board behind it so we can get this fastened and all of our other wires coming into the garage. Next up, we need to add an outlet on the outside, but I can't do that right now for a couple different reasons. One, as you saw, we got more rain and the outside of the house is dirt, so it's muddy and I don't feel like kneeling in the mud. But that's not the main reason. I could put something down, but I don't know if you can hear, it is extremely windy. I just checked, it says like 40-mile-per-hour gusts, so you guys wouldn't be able to hear anything out here. So it's supposed to die down in a few hours. If it dies down enough in a few hours I can come back out here and work, I will. Otherwise, we'd have to wait for tomorrow so I get some better filming weather. So we'll see you guys as soon as the weather cooperates, so that we can add our outlet for our pump for the septic. So this might all sound a little odd, like if you're used to a regular septic. I'm not going to explain it in this video. I'll explain it when we get to the septic, but we do have to add wiring for our septic. Well, that was a nice surprise, having our hay cut. So I said a while back, I can't remember what video it was, but that we were looking for somebody to cut it and square bale it for us. We had a couple people out and they told us what the price would be. It's not bad for a square bale. The thing is, that field and the two front fields would give us probably 500 square bales. Of course the wind picks up right when I'm trying to film this. And we have no need for 500 square bales. So the cost to do that, get it baled with 500 square bales, and then we don't have a place to put it, it just doesn't make any sense. So we're just giving this to a guy that cuts for the neighbors. He doesn't live too far from here, and then we'll just have to buy hay this year till we can figure out something to get it cut and square baled just the amount that we need. So anyway, the other thing you might have seen is those. So when it was real windy yesterday, I went and picked up our septic tanks, which you'll see the start of next video. But in the meantime, we're gonna finish this video and finish this install. So we got to get this box installed. This is gonna mount here, and then we're gonna put an outlet inside of it so that our wires can run from the inside to the outside. And this is where our pump will plug in, and also our alarm wires will go through here. So I'm gonna get a hole drilled in the wall and in this, and then we can get this thing mounted. All right, so right about here is a post, and then another post is over there. We know this is about 13 feet, so it doesn't really matter where this comes into the wall. I just want it to not hit a post and then not hit the concrete. So I think I'll just go ahead and mount it like up here. I know this is a girt. I suppose I could mount it there on a girt. I just have to drill through. That's probably better, to be honest with you, a little bit lower. I'm nervous to go too far down here because of the concrete, which the concrete shouldn't be any higher here, but I just don't want to run into that issue. So actually, I think what I'll do, because we're going to bring grade up, so I think I'll just mount it right there. And I can just put this right in the center here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and use a step bit. And that'll give us a spot to put our wires through. And now for this. Okay, so I'll give you the quick rundown before I install it. So we're gonna mount this box here, like I said, and then this outlet box is gonna be centered inside of there, something like that. And then we're gonna install this here on the bottom. So what'll happen is it'll be like this. Our wires will come up through here. We'll seal this with duct seal. We don't want a pipe coming up through there because that would be connected to the tank. And we don't want any gases going up into there because it'll fill this up and basically create a bomb with methane gas from the tank. So anyway, this will be mounted here with an outlet so we can plug our tank in, and then our wires will run through this hole here, which will then feed the panel and our alarm. So what we need to do is first, I'm going to drill a hole in the bottom. pre-drill hole. Okie dokie, that's solid. So what we'll do now is I'll silicone, not right this second, but I'll silicone around this whole box. This box comes with little ears on it, same way that this outlet box, but I cut those off because I didn't want screws exposed there. I'd rather just silicone around the whole thing and have my screws on the inside so that there's less of a chance to leak. So now I can go through, I'll poke my wire out, I'll get it hooked up to the panel, and then we'll have to wire up an outlet in here, and that'll be our first outlet on the house. But I'm pretty sure we need that before they'll sign off on this for us. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the inside work, and then I'll meet you guys back out here and we'll do the outlet. Okay, so on the back of this outlet, it tells you hot wire on this side, which is the black, white wire on this side, which is the neutral, and then our ground is the green one there. So, and then these just, they don't hook like you may have seen on some other outlets. They just slide in here. And then we'll tighten it down nice and tight. Okay, now we can bend our wire. Get these to fall in place. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Pull the pro move. So we'll go ahead and put electrical tape around this so nothing can touch. Big thing is you don't want the ground wires to touch. Either the hot or the neutral, because that would be bad. Now we can put it in there. And then realize that I put the tape behind there. Or over top of my screw, I guess I should say. All right, we'll put the cover on. So I'm not gonna worry about this hole right yet. Like I said earlier, once we get our wires up through there, because this has to be so big because there's a plug end, obviously, because we're putting a plug. So there's nothing to splice on. So if I went with something smaller, like a 1-inch, I don't think I would have been able to get that plug through there, unfortunately. So get this back on. that's all there is to it. So now we can run our pipe up, and what I'll most likely do is come up with a conduit to probably right about here, right up to this, which will be where the grate is, and then from there it'll just be open this amount here. And I'll put plumber's putty here and down here, and then it'll be all watertight and all sealed in. So with that, I guess that's it for this video with moving the panel to the garage and getting set for the septic, because I need to go ahead, get animals moved, get yards mowed, get all that stuff done, because for me tomorrow the excavator is showing up. For you guys it'll be a few days because it'll be the next video. So I need to get prepped because I'm gonna be on an excavator for about a week trying to get this septic done. So with that said, that's where we'll leave this video. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you on the next video.